Okay, great. Thank you. So welcome everyone, both people online and in person. We are very happy that we managed to organize this information session both online and in presence. It's very nice to have you here in our beautiful campus, and also for people online, it's very nice that you show interest in our program. So as you can see in the slides, we will have a presentation that Tiberio will give us about our engineering doctorate program. Then we will have a Q&A session with our guests. I will introduce them soon in a bit. And then for the people here on campus, we can have a tour of the campus. It's a very old and nice building. And we will also play some games to get to know each other better. And finally, we will have some drinks and food just to chill together. So, my name is Francesco Romeo. I come from Italy. I will be the host for this presentation, so my role will be mostly to annoy these people. I have a background in mathematical engineering and data science. I joined the program in in September 24. So now it's been 8 months. And I will leave the floor to Niko for introducing himself.
Hi guys, I'm Niko. I'm from Greece. I studied electrical and computer engineering in Greece, and then I came here for this program in January. So it has been 4 months. I'm a trainee here, and so far I enjoy it, and I will tell you more in the Q&A session.
Yeah, thank you very much, Niko. Then our second year guest and trainee is Tuğçe.
Hello everyone, welcome to JADS. I am a second year trainee in the program. I completed my first year in January, and then I have started my final year project recently. I am from Turkey. I studied mathematics. The program gave me a very nice experience so far.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tuğçe. And then also we have here as our guest Wenjun. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Please.
Yeah, hi, my name is Wenjun. I completed my master's degree in AI back in 2019, and after that I joined this program and I graduated in 2021. After that, I joined a finance company as an AI consultant, and I'm now working in Tokyo. Yeah.
Very cool. Thank you very much, Wenjun. Supporting this meetup today, we have Edwin and also Felicity and Femke as our moderators. Felicity is also a trainee and the same year as me, so later she will we will give you a tour of the campus altogether. And without further ado, I will leave the floor to our program director, Tiberio, so that he can say a few words about the program.
Thank you. Well, you didn't introduce me, so now I have to do that part. Thanks a lot for inviting me in your introduction session. My name is Tiberio. As Francesco mentioned, I'm the manager of the Engineering Doctorate program in data science. I work at JADS since 2019, roughly 6 years. I was myself, many years ago, an EngD trainee. The name was different back then. It was called a PDN, so I know the ins and outs from all possible perspectives about the life of a trainee. I was asked to give some kind of introduction about our program. I start from the premise that you all know what an EngD program is, at least you read about it, so I will not have a very deep introduction. You will discover perhaps different aspects of the program during today's session through the Q&A. So I will only give a high-level perspective. I will tell a bit more about the context of our specific program. So Francesco already mentioned we are in a very beautiful building. That's true. It's a former monastery called Marienburg. Meriç Castle. It's roughly 140 years old or 30 years old. So it's not very, very old, but in the same time, it's quite old. I think they did the best they could with an old building to transform it into a modern university sort of working place. Later, you will discover some of its corners and maybe hidden gems if you know some of them. JADS was established formally, so Erasmus Academy of Data Science was established formally in 2016, September 2016. So we are 9 years old, put it that way. And back then it was envisioned as a collaboration of two universities coming from two different perspectives. One focused on hardcore engineering, and that is TU and the other one focused mainly on more the societal and humanistic aspects of data science. So they shook their hands and they said, well, let's establish this collaboration coming from two different perspectives. Of course, they decided, I don't know all the history, so I'm now interpreting it for you. They decided to meet somewhere in the middle, not in Tilburg, not in Eindhoven, so the next best thing is Den Bosch. Well, it didn't happen that way. That's because the government of North Brabant and municipality of Den Bosch wanted to be on board of this initiative. As you know, Den Bosch did not have a university. Here you have applied sciences, but with JADS, there is also a university established locally here, benefiting from also government organizations at the municipality level and also collaborations with this community. So that's in a nutshell a bit about the history of how JADS was established. What was established, what is nowadays at JADS, you can, let's say, put it into three, let's say, categories. One is, of course, education. So JADS has a well-established master in data science and entrepreneurship. Things called differently, but you can check the website. So there's a well-established master since 2016. A well-established EngD program in data science, started formally September 2016. So we were the first to move on these premises, coming from the Department of Mathematics and Computer Science of TU Eindhoven. We have a well-established professional education that is special type of education aiming for more lifelong learning. People coming from industry for very specific programs. We have, of course, research. So you cannot have an academic institution without research. We have quite well-established research groups in analytics, data science, and entrepreneurship. Nowadays, more and more PhD students being based at JADS, which is very nice for me to see. And one thing that, let's say, the initiators of JADS wanted to have is a strong collaboration with the business ecosystem, and therefore the impact, that's the third main area. So, and this is not only about people that facilitate those kind of projects that bridge the academia and industry, but it's the mindset that the people in this organization have. So if you look at our program, and you will discover that maybe through the Q&A later, but also at other education programs, the master program, the PhD students, so if you look at those education activities, you will see that they have a very applied nature. There's always a company somewhere in the picture for a PhD or also for a master's student. So that's a very nice thing of JADS. Yeah, so that closeness to the business community. Now, going a bit deeper into the education program, let me just say a few words about our program and Engineering Doctorate from Data Science. Well, perhaps, and as I said, I will not go very deep to describe it, but I will just start maybe with a question. I will give that answer, so I'll not ask you. I will let you interact with these guys later. So maybe you would ask yourself, why should I join such a program? And that's, of course, you should ask yourself, and I hope that's why you are here to discover more. Yeah? Well, if you want to, let's say, if you are a fresh graduate, or you will be a fresh graduate from a master program in data science, in computer science, in mathematics, in statistics, in maybe any other engineering discipline, and if you want to further your education, yeah, with a degree in technological design and data science, then this is the program to go. Of course, if you want to do a PhD in data science, that's a different track. Yeah, but if you want a technological design education, then and combine that with data science aspect, then this is the place to be. Yeah, of course, why would you want to do that? Well, you want to learn more. You can learn by going directly to the industry. That's, I think, most of the fresh graduates do that. Some graduates go for a PhD track. And there is a third option, and that's the EngD in general. Yeah. The idea, if you compare with working in industry, there are many similarities. We try to have that mindset as much as possible. The benefits of joining our program is that you are exposed to various projects from different domains. But we don't only expose you, we also help you by coaching, mentoring, by giving technical courses, by giving professional skills workshops, and so on and so forth. So that's the idea, that you join this program, a 2-year program, by the way. And first year you are exposed to these various activities. I think there is a slide later, I will tell a bit more about that. And then you prove yourself as a technological designer and data scientist through a graduation project. Well, it's a very nice slide. I think I made this slide some time ago, but I also did not update this slide. What I wanted to convey to this slide is that we are a very diverse community. We are at this moment 36 or so trainees, give or take. So it's a rather large EngD program, one of the largest in the Netherlands, in both years, by the way, coming from many, many countries. I stopped counting how many countries we have at this moment, but definitely more than 10. And at some point I was counting how many countries historically, and that was about 30 or so. So it's a very diverse community, which is good. So people have to learn how to work with each other, given their different backgrounds, as in different experiences, different education, or type of education. Yeah. We are also very diverse in terms of collaborations. We run every year about 35 to 40 projects. 15 or so are graduation projects, so those are the big projects, individual projects, something that Tuğçe is now involved in, and the rest are projects in the first year. We call them training projects. They are much shorter. Some of those perhaps projects Niko and Francesco will mention to you. And the idea is that you are exposed to various companies, different domains, through real life projects with real stakeholders and real problems. And that's because that's what we want to allocate to these EngD programs. Yeah, the problem solvers, the typical design engineers, if you want to call it that way. And I believe.
Many time do you still need?
I believe I will go to this slide in 1 minute.
Perfect, because they want to learn more about training report.
Well, you invited me, so I talk about our program. As I said, in just 1 minute, and I think this information you can also find online on our website. The idea to keep here is that there's quite a diversity in education, first year especially. Part of it is technical courses. Part of the education is professional skills workshops and specific trainings, for instance, writing an industrial report. But it's not only the let's say the courses, but also the mentoring behind. So even our courses are completely different from typical master course, much shorter, it's of course much smaller. The interaction between the teacher and the student we want to be different. So we actually don't look for teacher-student. We want more of a knowledge transfer idea in that. Is definitely happening also with the professional skills workshops. And as I mentioned already before, in the second year, so this is mainly first year and second year, you would be busy mainly with a graduation project, always within an industrial context, be it direct or in a bit broader consortium. And without taking more time from you, thank you very much. I'm also happy that we managed, or you managed, to have this hybrid session. We it's already some time ago that we wanted to have such a session with online and also offline, and now we had the right opportunity facilitated by also partly by Karen too. Thanks a lot, and I hope you will enjoy the rest of this afternoon discussion with the panel and the visit later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm back.
So if I can take advantage on this,
Yeah. So thank you, Tiberio. Now we will move to the questions that we got from some of you, also from previous information session. And at the beginning, we have some questions about mostly the bureaucratic parts, so the visa and these things. We will quickly go through them, and then we will mostly, of course, interview our guests.
so I could help you, but I can't.
Is it in presentation mode? Yes. So hopefully the questions will be big enough as well for you. Yeah. Does everyone, can everyone read more or less? Okay, good. Yeah. So the first question is about when to apply if you are doing your thesis in the meantime. So technically you can of course apply for the program and also join the Data Challenge Week while you're also doing your thesis, but it's very important that you achieve your master degree before starting the program. So that's a requirement for the program itself. Then we also got questions about the IELTS and the TOEFL, so language certificates. If you come from an English-speaking country, that's not needed. But if you come from non-European countries, from universities that ensure high English proficiency, then it's also not needed. in general, if you have a certificate, you can apply and give it, and that's always the best. But if there will be doubts about the proficiency, then you will be contacted by the HR team about this. And this was about work permit. Which deadline is applicable for my situation? So I hold a 5 years residence and work permit. For the possible detention in Greek, I do not require a visa. So this person is asking which deadline is applicable for my situation. Well, it's kind of easy because the deadline is for everyone for the next detention in Greek, the 1st of June 2025. And yeah, so bear that in mind if you want to apply for the next batch. What about visa for kids? If selected for the program after the DCW. So personally, I don't have experience with this, but indeed, I know that the TUE and the JADS take care of these procedures, and they help you a lot in all the steps that you need. I don't know if any of our guests here had experience with visa applications.
Oh yeah, I have this application experience. I think the HR take care of everything.
Yeah, exactly. That's perfect. Yeah. And then also, indeed, do you consider applicants with master in engineering degrees? Unfortunately, we are obliged by the graduate school to only accept people that have master of science degree. Yeah, so in the UK, but also I think in other countries, you can something called Master in Engineering, which is different from a Master of Science. And if you don't have a Master of Science, in this case, we cannot take you as a Engineering Doctorate trainee. And now let's start interrogating our our guest. So the first question is about, do you need to have followed university level mathematics courses? In case this is true, does this make someone automatically not admissible? So I want to ask first to Niko, what is your experience from this point of view? You said you come from electrical engineering.
Yeah, so I come from electrical and computer engineering. So of course I had a lot of maths in my program, but it wasn't necessarily statistics or data science math. And I would say that it's not necessary to have everything, but you need a solid mathematics foundation. Like you don't need to know specifically all the statistical things or math specifically used for data science, but you need to have an idea of how everything kind of works, and then you can figure out the rest.
Do you want to add something as well?
Yeah, I can add. To apply for the program, that being an admissible, you already need to have a master's degree in one of the relevant programs, like mathematics, statistics, or some engineering programs. And this means that you already get some relevant courses in mathematics as well. On the other hand, if you feel like you are lacking in some topics related to mathematics or some topics you need to have from the background, you can always take extra courses during the program as well, or just when you accept it, then you will have some time after the data challenge week and the starting of the program. So during this time, you can also cover some gaps if you want. There's always some possibility, yeah.
A little bit more in the specifics about statistics, because this is actually my question, so it's not to be. But I study sociology, for instance, and it's a very quantitative study, so I do get statistics, but I do not get the ins and outs of these statistics. So is that enough statistics, or do I need to know how these statistics come about? And what is the degree of knowledge about statistics that you need?
from my point of view, if you have your own understanding and if you get the way of thinking from your courses, then it will be enough. Because you can, yeah, even you got the course, then if you don't use it after 1 year, you will not remember anything. So if you have this understanding, then when you need it during the program, when you look at it on the internet or somewhere, you will just grasp the idea easily. It will be enough, I believe.
Okay. Yes, yes. I don't know, Wenjun, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I feel it's all about the ability to pick up something new quickly. So a quick learner, it doesn't really matter that you don't have some in-depth knowledge as long as you know how to pick up something new quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, but I completely agree with what they said. And so we can move to the next question, which is about our training projects. As Tiberio explained, they happen both in the first year, they are shorter, just 3 training projects. The second year, there is a whole year project. The question is, what type of organizations will there be projects with? Only profit or also non-profit like governmental organization and municipalities? Maybe I can ask Wenjun, do you remember from your experience in the program?
Yeah, I remember very much. I think the projects have a wide range of different type of companies. In my case, the most impressive ones are those that's non-for-profit. I mean, we do have a lot of big corporation where you can get a sense of what data scientists look like in the big corporation. But in my case, I remember I had a project with Efteling. I don't know if you guys know Efteling. It's an amusement park here in Brabant. So we were trying to do some mathematical modeling for the population tracking in the amusement park. Another project I did is for a non-for-profit startup. So they're trying to design a fit calculator for farmers in Africa. So we were trying to design an optimization algorithm for the farmers to calculate how to design the feed for the animals. Although I did a lot of big companies, but the 2 non-for-profit company projects are the most impressive in my mind. Yeah, that's my experience.
Yeah. Yes.
A question. All the companies you collaborate with based in North Brabant, or there's a broader region that you can collaborate with?
Niko, maybe you want?
I think it's pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Because, for example, in our current training project, we are working for a petrochemical company which is based in Saudi Arabia. It also has a department here in the Netherlands, but the actual company is in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, exactly. And also about non-profit organizations, we recently had some project with the municipality of Den Bosch as well. So it really varies a lot. And Tuğçe, in your experience, as if you think about your training projects, how different were they?
Yeah, if I consider mine, the first one was with the National Police of the Netherlands, so the whole country, and it was a non-profit. Actually, it was a European Union cooperation. And the second one was with Unilever. Unilever is also not located in North Brabant, I guess. Probably they have some factories, but they are everywhere.
Yeah.
The location for our project was in somewhere else, Wageningen, not close. And the other one was Philips. It's Eindhoven, of course, but the Philips is a huge company all over the world.
Yeah, thank you very much. So let's go to the next question. What mentorship and networking opportunities are available to participants, both within JADS and with industry professionals? So who of you wants to answer to this question?
I will leave the floor to people with more experience.
Okay, I can start. There are many opportunities actually. Probably I will list some of them and you can also continue. For mentorship, we have personal coach in the program during the first year and also second year. So we are getting coaching stations and we are getting some mentorship by this way for our career path or technically as well. That in young staff and also the professors, GUE is always there for us. During the project, of course, we encounter some technical difficulties. We don't know what should we do to solve the problem. There is always someone who can help us, who can give some idea, professional solution to guide us. So we can always find some support in this plan. Also, everything, especially in the first year, we do everything in team. So we work all together. Also, we have peer-to-peer collaboration, and we can be some mentorship to each other as well.
We will set for the mentorship part.
Yeah.
And for the networking, there are also multiple teams. One is DS Connect, which is data science in JADS, and you connect with the rest of the people at JADS. There's also a thing, alumnus, which is an EngD team in which you connect with other EngD candidates, which is still useful.
Yeah, exactly. Disconnect. Me and Felicity are currently part of the board of Disconnect, and we try to organize things in a way that all the trainees can get together, not only working but also after work and bond all together. And when in your experience, how were the networking opportunities within JADS?
Yeah, I think TUE itself has a lot of resources, and being a JADS member, you actually have the benefit from two worlds, both in JADS and also TUE, and sometimes from Berkeley University. So you really get access to all possibilities. And since this program has been almost 10 years, there are a lot of alumni out there. And I guess you guys also sometimes organize alumni events.
Yeah.
We have a lot of alumni. These are all networking resources. Actually, me myself, I got my first job through an alumni-based program, but she was graduated when data science was not called data science, when data science was mathematics for industry. So yeah, there's a lot of, so it's not only 10 years. Before 10 years, we still have this project. It's not called for data science. Yeah, there are a lot of alumni out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Disconnect tries also indeed to organize events in a way that trainees can get to know alumni better. Yeah. And we also within JADS, we also have an alumni association called the AI Alumni. And they also recently had a very big event inside JADS about the smart cities. So they are quite active as well. And we can go next question. What are concrete examples of problems that you work on to solve? So we already answered to some of these questions. Maybe hear more also from Niko's experience in the CW, in the Data Challenge Week, and also with the training project.
Yeah, so for Data Challenge Week, for the one that I was an applicant, our stakeholders were the football club of Den Bosch, and we had to basically help them create a way to create overload situations, which in football is situations where you have more players in a specific area of the field in order to create opportunities to score. So what we had to do is to create a way to visualize the court, visualize the location of the players, and then we would have to identify areas where during the whole match where the team had, for example, an advantage. And basically that was our of the
Yeah,
project
very-
and what we gave to the stakeholders.
Very
And,
challenging.
I think the project also
Okay,
continued after my study, which
Yeah,
I was not
exactly.
involved. I don't know what happened then.
Yeah, then indeed the project became from a small 5 days project to a 3 month project. So the jump was quite long from that point of view. Yes,
Just out of interest, how did you measure the position of the players on the
How do
field?
you mean that?
How did you measure the position of the players during the match? Is it like,
So how it worked is that they had a camera, and based on the camera and the call of the search, they would get the position. But that was already done, I think,
Yeah.
from the Denver team. So we just got the positions and then we worked based on that.
you didn't need
No,
to
we
figure out
didn't.
how to measure it?
No.
But was that the previous project or?
no, it's like the Football Dutch Association
No.
does it not for free, but to create a data community
Yeah.
within football in the second division. So we had this data, which was a great opportunity. Yeah, definitely. Maybe we can, well, you already mentioned 2 very cool projects. Can you tell us more about your final year project?
Yeah, my final year project was clinical data science. So I work in a hospital. It's a pure AI modeling project where I need to build AI software for the doctors to assist the doctors or pharmacists to check the adverse drug events. So it's a pure machine learning project, and besides building the machine learning model, I need to deploy it and make it a software for the pharmacists and doctors to use. So that's my final year project.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And Tuğçe, can you tell us more, of course, respecting the confidentiality?
Oh my God. For final year project,
Yes.
it is really hard. I just signed the NDA, so I am not allowed to mention details, but for me, I am working in ASML and in supply chain department, and they already have a model to make their plan. How many material they need to keep in their warehouse somewhere in the world, because their network is huge. On the other hand, they cannot understand how the model works exactly. So I will help them in explainability part. So for my project is not creating from a model for them from scratch, but I will work in an existing model. I will try to explain why the model takes this kind of decision, and I will try to help them to interpret with the model better. The user. So,
Yeah, so, yes?
Yeah, I heard that in ASML you cannot use AI, like you have to code by yourself, like equivalently. Is that true? I heard from someone.
you cannot use AI.
You can, yeah, we cannot use it. This is a question.
They told, I didn't hear anything. So, so I still don't know what they are using exactly. The company is huge. For now, I know the model that I will work on.
Yeah.
Yeah, AI.
So you already
So
decided-
if you, yeah, it also depends what you call as AI actually.
Yeah, I
Of
heard
course.
from a friend who worked as an intern before.
Mhm.
In ASML. She said she cannot use AI because the information is quite confidential. So I'm just.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's a copilot or generative AI like ChatGPT or something.
Yeah, that's what.
Yes, you are not allowed to use that kind of chatbot in the company because everything confidential.
Yeah.
Almost everything is confidential. Even you cannot log in your Google account. You cannot use your company computer for your personal things. That's right.
External AI.
External AI.
External
They
service.
already have their own AI thing in the company, and you're allowed to use it for the company as well.
People didn't know that.
So yeah, as you can see, we have something about explainability and also something about clinical data science. I've heard really a lot of different projects in just 8 months. So yeah, it's really varied. Let's move to the next question. So in the brochure, it is mentioned that a lot of alumni became data scientists at companies. But what does this involve? Is it mining, analyzing, predicting, managing? So indeed, we have here Wenjun, who is now working in industry and graduated from this program. So I think this question is for you.
Yeah, I mean, consultant, this term sounds fancy, but if you boil down to our daily work, maybe for myself, 70% of the time I'm communicating, and maybe 20% of the time I'm coding. Another 10% of the time I'm dealing with random stuff like coffee break or emailing things. So yeah, being a consultant is really about communicating, because once you started working as a data scientist or AI consultant in a corporation, you realize, oh, data science is a very small module out of the huge landscape, maybe 10% of the whole thing. There are many other things like thinking about the budgeting, calculating the return of investment, how to convince somebody to use your ideas. And besides this, you have the data engineering stuff, you have the deployment, DevOps, a lot of things. So data science itself, coding maybe only takes 10% of the whole landscape. Yeah, that's my personal experience.
Yeah, thank you for your insight. And I hope that the question was answered. So we can move to the next one. Do alumni also end up working as a researcher? So I want to ask in general, indeed, like, what's your experience talking with the people that work here, previous trainees? Yeah.
Personally, I think I have only heard of some people doing PhDs. I don't know if anyone is working as a researcher here or in TUE or in somewhere else. But I think usually most people either work in industry or they start their own company. So one of the two usually.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not something you cannot do.
Yeah, exactly. It's quite open.
Well,
yeah.
Probably people that are here, usually they want to work in industry, so they end up working in industry.
Yeah.
On the other hand, in the companies, in the big companies, especially Philips, like ASML, they also have their own research team. It is not like exactly scientific research, but also the companies want to collaborate with the university and also the whole some researcher in their ecosystem. If we consider that kind of research, yes, also it's possible maybe, yeah, as a company researcher.
Yeah. And indeed also, like as final year project, you can end up having a research project or more industry related projects. So it is something that you can pursue yourself. Wenjun, you probably know a lot of alumni, so the people that were in your generation. Do you know more or less where they are, which companies or in which research teams they work?
So in our generation, there is one alumni who continued to do a PhD after the PDing, because he did the sports analytics data science, and so through this program, he learned how data science can be applied to real world, right? But then he wants to learn more to apply better to the real world problem. That's why he thinks he still needs to pick up a lot of knowledge. That's why he continued a PhD in ETH, a university in Switzerland. Another alumni, which is one generation before me, generation 5. So she also continued PhD in University of Amsterdam after this project. Her when she was here, she's focusing on a lot of social science, data science. computational social science field. And for the similar reason, she feels like, or she already know how data science can be applied to industry, but she wants to learn more to apply better. That's why she continued the PhD. In my own case, I work in a hospital, so it's pretty much a very research-based kind of project. So after my project, my stakeholder actually asked me to write a peer-reviewed journal paper. It's not a compulsory thing for this project, but it's a nice to have thing according to my stakeholders. So we ended up having this peer-reviewed journal paper. So it's very research heavily based. And after that, I actually have some opportunity to continue for a PhD, specifically for clinical data science. But it's my own choice to go to industry rather than to the academic world. So you really have a lot of possibilities because this JADS is a platform where it offers a lot of resources and possibilities. So you have the freedom to choose whichever branch you want to go. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And yes,
Yeah, out of curiosity, you mentioned you wrote a peer review kind of article. Did any alumni ever publish a scientific paper before?
Yeah. For example, the guy that went to the ETH, he published some papers. And in my own case, I also published two.
During this program?
Yeah, but it's not compulsory because the goal for this project is to solve problems for the company. It's not a KPI for you to publish paper. But some people, they just really love research. They love academics. Yeah. I also want to add another point. There are also vice versa situation where people finish PhD, then come for the PD. For example, in my generation, there is a girl who finished, I think, neuroscience PhD, and she wants to learn more how the science can be applied to industry. That's why she came to this project. So there are like vice versa situation in both ways.
Yes, I am also one of them. Yeah, after I completed PhD, I felt a gap. When I decided to work in the industry, in the business, there was a huge gap for me. I didn't have the necessary business skills, and they are very important nowadays. So to close that gap, also the program is a good option.
yeah, and one thing that I want to add is that at the beginning of our program, every one of us writes a document that basically shapes their program so that you can direct your program in the way you want. If you're interested in LLMs, you can direct your program in this way. If you're more interested in research, you can put it in this document. And if possible, you will get projects that align with your interests. And you will also choose workshops or courses that align with these interests. So, yeah, thank you all for your answers. We can continue. How does the program balance the demands of academic study with the practical experience gained through industry projects? This is quite a tough question. Do you want to answer, Niko?
Yeah, I mean, so we have eight modules, right? I think it's eight compulsory modules, something like that. And 3 training projects. The training projects last 3 months. And you might have modules during the training projects. So most of the time you are expected to spend like half of your time in a training project and the rest either in modules or electives, which you freely choose, so you can even choose online courses and put them wherever you want. So you have the freedom to balance it however you like, I would say. It's not that the university balances it for you. Yeah, which is nice for me. Some people maybe prefer more structured stuff, but yeah. Yeah, and also it offers a lot of workshop on time management, prioritization skills, which are very useful when you we're trying to build.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. In your time, I will quickly go also to the next question. Are there any specific support system in place for participants manage their time and maintain a healthy work-life balance? Do you feel like?
Yes, when we need some help in it, we have personal coach. We can always ask help, support. Or there are many workshops also in TUE. We can also register for them. There is always something to help us. Yeah.
Yeah. What applications and software can I best familiarize myself with in preparation for the EngD program? Wenjun, what would you answer to this question?
Yeah, I think Python, and probably learn a little bit about the DevOps part. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Python is the most important thing. So
Yeah.
you will pick up the other things on a project-based type of fashion later on.
Tools like PyChart, or maybe you work for different organizations, maybe they have a preference towards the database, like a Mongo database or complex. Do you have this, like, do you also need to get familiar with the different tools as well?
Yeah, the database you mentioned always consume SQL language. So if you,
Yeah,
it's nice to know SQL is also written there.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then indeed, like nowadays there are many tools like the ones that you mentioned. I would say that if you are interested in some specific tools, you can also go deep in them during the program. But before entering the program, indeed, if you stay high level and you know some Python, that's for sure good for your application.
And also during the training project. For example, when you include in a training project, you will work in with a company. That you never know which tool the company prefers, which kind of platform they use. So then you will learn it.
Yeah.
If you need it in the project, then you will use it and have experience. It's an opportunity to just learn the program and stuff.
But as a fresh graduate, why check the job positions? It's all maybe to know Hadoop, we have no PyChart. I thought, yeah, I know this, but I like a lack of practice. So
Yeah. How are courses and projects graded? Based on the company approval, scientific paper, etc. Yeah, this is a very good question. So, Tuğçe, what would you answer to this?
I can. Actually, for the courses, there isn't any grading like you fail or you pass. Every time, for example, the modules, we call them modules for some mandatory courses. At the end of the module, in general, we make a presentation or we have a final assignment, and the lecturer gives us some feedback related to our work. And in general, we do it as teams, not alone. And due to that feedback, we understand what we did well, what we didn't do well, and then we can focus on specific need to develop it more. But there isn't any concrete grading like in bachelor or maybe in master.
Yeah, exactly. Niko, do you want?
But do you get a grade on the final year project?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, for your thesis, you get a grade because the final year is 1 year project. Maybe Wenjun can tell us more about this.
Yeah, I think that being in JADS, we should consider us as an employee, as a data scientist. And this is an opportunity to really experience how being a data scientist in the real world. However, in a safe environment, right? So in the real world, do we grade our project? Do we give grade to something we do? I don't think so, right? So yeah, if there has to be something as a compliment, that's gonna be. I remember before we did some small use case. for a company, and the company feel that we did the use case so good that they decided to continue work with us. And this continuation, in my view, is a reward rather than some giving you a grade or something. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So indeed, what happens if you fail a course or project? Yeah, we answered more or less. You cannot fail a course and also for project. Usually it's a team effort. It doesn't really happen, but you get a lot of feedback to improve yourself in case something went wrong. Yes.
You mentioned something about electives and modules now and projects. Is all that here in this building, or do you need to go to Eindhoven and Tilburg maybe something?
Yeah, this is also one question that we received.
Yes.
Yeah. No, but we can maybe answer. Niko, do you want to answer?
Yeah, so for my first 4 months, everything has been at JADS, but there are also some electives or some modules that are in TUE. I don't think we have anything in TUE.
No, I never heard of it.
And also a lot of online stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Next one. What are the potential career paths for graduates of this program? How does JADS support participants in securing employment after completing the program? Wenjun, you already told us a lot. Do you want to elaborate on this?
Yeah, I think there is a diverse pathways. So at least in my generations, after 4 years, you see what they're doing now. You see data engineer, you see DevOps engineer, you also see data analyst, and me myself is AI consultant, which is pretty much the same like what I did in JADS. So it's really diverse in my view. Yeah, and for the help from JADS, I remember at my time we have a so-called business coordinator who comes from industry and occasionally have this one-on-one bilateral meeting with you, and you can ask he or she, how does the outside world look like, something like that. Yeah.
Yes. And the next question. Is the JADS playground integrated into the program as a set of electives or as a replacement for your graduation project? Yeah, so as I read, the JADS playground helps entrepreneurial students and professionals with their first steps of building a startup. So they usually, if you have a very good idea for a startup and you want to bring it to life, you can, and then JADS playground will help you for sure in understanding what your next steps should be. So indeed, they are an open incubator with a focus on data. Roughly how much time per week is spent on location versus working / studying remote? So we are at the moment working from JADS, and as Niko also said, sometimes we work in TUE, but we don't work from home. And next question, could you elaborate on the specific types of engineering projects that companies are currently seeking support for from JADS? And are there any particular areas of focus? So we answered more or less already in this. The areas of focus are really, really broad. Like you can have companies from every kind of background, and that's, I think, the beauty of the program. You have also heard the experience of our former trainee and trainees, so now you have more data points for this. And next, what key skills and competencies do you anticipate participants in this program should develop to be successful in the industry? So I would like maybe to ask this question to Wenjun, as he has a lot of experience in the industry.
Yeah. After graduating, we would assume already qualify as a junior to associate data scientist, where you have the ability to communicate well with stakeholder, you understand how to translate a business idea into a data science problem, which needs a lot of time to train if we hire a new person from university, right? That's why a lot of companies, they have this traineeship project. For example, Harvard Bank, it takes 2 years to finish the traineeship. So after JADS, we would assume any graduates will already qualify for someone who completed this traineeship from other corporation. And you have the, first of all, technical wise, you know a lot on coding, and the soft skill wise, you have the business translation skills, and then you're able to presenting ideas good, you have a good communication skills.
Yeah, thank you. Next, what criteria do companies typically use to select participants for this program? So I think like maybe this question is more about the final year project, because for the program companies don't select ours. So for final year project, Tuğçe, what was your experience?
In my case, the company, it's always company's decision, and some companies wants to, okay, just choose for us the best candidate, but some companies wants to evaluate the trainees by themselves, and they want to decide which trainee will take over the project in the company. So in my case, they prefer to organize some interviews with multiple trainees, and just try I felt like they try to understand, okay, how we approach to the business problem, and can we translate it to the data science language, and then can we have enough understanding, or do we show a good behavior to solve the problem for them? So there isn't any specific skill that I can say now, okay, you need to be good at this, but design skills are very important. How you approach to a business problem, how you shape your project, what kind of steps you take. And these are all learned with experience, I believe, during the training project as well. During the first year, you already will get that training.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tuğçe. And we are close to the end for the question. How does the program incorporate a global perspective, and how it does prepare participants to work in an international context? Niko, do you want to answer to this?
It prepares them by putting them in an international context, because we already work in English, everyone is from a different country. We basically work already in an international corporation, let's say.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I mean, you already feel.
Yeah, as Tiberiu showed, there are people coming from many different countries, so that makes it very, like a very important experience. Next question. So what emerging trends in engineering and technology do you see as having the greatest impact on the industry in the coming years? So this is a very big discussion. We will shortly end this session. Do you guys want to say something about this?
Yeah, as I understood, many companies want to have their own chatbots in their company system. It's very famous nowadays. Many companies start to work on that one. So generative AI can be popular nowadays, but it can change suddenly, right? This is a very dynamic area. And also, as I know, in the industry, the predictive maintenance nowadays are very important, especially when Europe focus on the sustainability. The companies also start to be more important on this.
Yeah. Niko or Wenjun, do you want to add to this?
I don't know. I don't think I have anything to add.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so from a finance company's perspective, the trend we're trying to follow is generative AI, of course, because all the other companies are doing, and you don't want to be lagging behind. So you sort of have to get on the boat and do the same thing. So that's the biggest trend right now. The other trend that I observe is there are more, so we're trying to, so the importance is shifting from data scientists to more DevOps engineers and data engineers, because nowadays Copilot or ChatGPT, they can just write the machine learning code so well, but for data engineering part and DevOps engineer part, there is a lack of human resources out there. Yeah, that's what I observe.
Yes. So, oh, sorry, yes.
Last question
Yeah.
to that one. So maybe a smaller point, but relevant thing. Do you see any changes or like adaptation in this program happening within these years?
Very good question.
But I think the aim of this program is to learn to design and to learn to think the proper way.
Yeah.
Which is irrelevant of what tools you use or what you do. So if you have the proper foundation of taking the proper steps to solve the problem, then no matter how fast or what the tools are, or what they change, or what they are, then you can still do it regardless.
Yeah.
And also the collaboration with the industry, they are doing the collaboration, and when the needs change, the request also change. And the project, I think the project types to keep up with the change as well, because their needs, yeah, already reflects the current situation, right?
Yeah.
That have the courses, either the mandatory or elective or the what you call the training module. Did they have any change or update?
No, courses, the mandatory course doesn't change, but they are much more foundational knowledge. So you need to know statistics, even if the trend changes, statistic is always there. On the other hand, as you mentioned a little bit in the beginning, in the first month, every trainee plan their own training direction. Yeah, it is very personal in this program. They don't put you, okay, you will work on this, and this. No. If you want to interested in develop yourself in some specific area, you can put it your personal proposal. And also during the program, you can always change it by discussing your supervisor. So it's always possible.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think Edwin was already answering to a lot of your people from online. In view of time, do we have time for some questions from online, or should we move to
No,
the next?
you can move your own program. All the other questions online have been taken care of.
Yeah, great. So yeah, if you want to contact our program, you can forward some email and visit our webpage. And yeah, this is a beautiful picture of the main room in our building. Now people here will actually experience a campus tour. So we hope that also next time we will have many people coming in present. Thank you very much, both to people that came here and people online for your time. And thank you to our guests for answering to so many questions.
Francesco for hosting.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.